This is the best Black Clover theory you have ever heard. I'm so hyped to tell you all about this. So basically, Asta used magic. Zedin is magic. Asta is officially a magic user. It sounds weird, I know, but you will see it makes so much sense. It's possible that Ryu's real goal is not to teach Asta how to control Ki, but to secretly teach him how to use real magic without Asta realizing it himself. Perhaps Asta will even receive his own scroll, the equivalent of a grimoire in the Clover Kingdom. We noticed something strange when it came to how the terms Yoryuku and Yojutsu have been used in the Land of the Rising Sun so far. Instead of the words magic and magic power, Yojutsu equals magic and Yoryuku equals magic power. And then we wondered, why did Tabata actually do that? They speak the same language anyway, why did he exchange only those two words? And then we simply replaced the words every time they were used. Magic instead of Yojutsu and magic power instead of Yoryuku. And then I understood why Tabata might have done that, because if he hadn't, then all the talk about magic in the Land of the Rising Sun in terms of how Asta uses his own anti-magic might reveal something new, yet unknown about Asta that Tabata might want to keep secret for now. Let's talk about it. If you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. Please enjoy this video. Let's go! Before we get started, we need to clear up some basics because there's a big misunderstanding when it comes to the difference between mana, magic power and magic, especially when things like Ki comes into play, mixed up with other terms, such as Ki and Yoryoku. What does that actually mean? So let me explain. Mana is a form of energy that exists in 4 elements in nature and in almost all people and all living things. Trees, fruits, animals, just everything that lives. It is also the source of all magic. Well, magic is the refinement and application of magic power. So between the process of using mana to create magic is the concept of magic power. This magic power is called Yoryoku in the Land of the Rising Sun. But what is magic power and why is it so important? Generally speaking, magic power and mana could be considered one and the same, if you don't want to complicate the whole thing and don't want to bother understanding the actual magic system in Black Clover. But the fact that Tabata made a distinction between these two terms is definitely an indication that this distinction is very important for possible predictions and future plot. Especially when it comes to Asta and how he uses his anti-magic and how this is described by the people of the Land of the Rising Sun. Because their description of Asta's anti-magic is fundamentally different from how people from the Clover Kingdom describe anti-magic. We just don't notice that because other terms are used, and Tabata does this on purpose. This is ingenious, he's fooling us. Yoryuku or magic power can be explained as mana that resides in a living being, because that mana can then transform into a power that can then affect other substances. When magic power is further refined, it becomes magic. Tabata, the creator of Black Clover himself, said that in one of his Q&As. This explanation Tabata gave us was clearly confirmed in the Land of the Rising Sun, based on how people unconsciously manipulate Ki to create Yoryoku. That is, magic power. More on this in a moment. So magic power is the power with which you create magic by using mana. However, it must be admitted here that because of this definition, there is theoretically the possibility that mana is not the only energy form that can be transformed into magic power. What I'm saying is that if, for example, anti-magic is equivalent to mana, then Asta might be able to use anti-magic to create magic power, thus creating real magic. You'll see why this makes so much sense. So in the Land of the Rising Sun, magic is called Yojutsu, and magic power is called Yoryoku. The first time these terms were introduced was when Asta was on a sightseeing tour with Ryu, learning about the energy system of the Land of the Rising Sun. Ryu explained that here everyone uses scrolls to perform Yojutsu. So people create magic using scrolls just like people in the Clover Kingdom use grimoires to create magic. Ryu continues by confirming that Yojutsu equals magic. He also explains that the magic power is called Yoryoku. Remember what we explained to you. Mana creates magic power and magic power creates magic. So mana creates Yoryoku and Yoryoku creates Yojutsu. After the bandits attacked the town, Ryu said that he has no Yoryoku, so he has no magic power. So in a sense, Ryu was saying that he has no source to create magic. In the most obvious way, he was referring to the fact that he has no mana, because that is the only known source used for magic so far. However, this might have changed if this theory here is correct. More to that in a moment as well. We are slowly reaching the climax of this theory. This is already the first difference to Asta, because Asta always just says that he doesn't have have magic. He never said that he doesn't have magic power. So that's a big difference that Tabata makes between Ryu and Asta. If Ryu was supposed to be just like Asta, he should have said that he doesn't have Yojutsu, that is magic and not Yoryuku. And this is very important because now listen carefully. When Ichika wanted to teach Asta the Zen technique, Fumito said it wouldn't work because even the most experienced Yojutsu, that is magic users, can train for years and still never make it. Meaning only magic prodigies like Yuna can accomplish something like that in an instant. The only ones who can use this technique are Ichika and the other Ryuzen 7. Ryuzen 7 is a group of 7 people, so Fumito did not include Ryu among the people who can use Zen. This is important because of how exactly the Zen technique works. If you focus the Yoryuku, that is the magic power, and then release it all at once, you can perform Zen. Since Ryu confirmed that he has no magic power, that is no Yoryuku, he naturally cannot perform this technique. Ryu then explained that everyone unconsciously manipulates ki and turns it into Yoryuku, something he can't. So people use ki to generate magic power without understanding the process. And that is what Tabata explained in the Q&A. It all makes sense. Humans use mana to generate magic power, but he didn't explain how. Now Ryu has explained the exact process behind it in detail. As I said, it's a process that humans do unconsciously since birth without thinking, like it's a reflex or something. But Asta never learned this because he was born without mana, so he never had a reason to experience this. But now he has to learn this on his own if he ever wants to use magic. And that is exactly what is happening right now. In this training, Asta is literally being taught how people use magic, and that's where his anti-magic comes in. Hearing this explanation, Asta suddenly went into a trance and realized something crazy. He said that he had never considered using ki in this way. Then Asta immediately realized that people create mana skin in this way. And then he has the idea. He says that since he has now a contract with Liebe, and then the sentence stopped. I think what he was trying to say is, now that I have a contract with Liebe, maybe I can use magic. Ryu told Asta to use anti-magic instead of Yoryuku, which in this case theoretically equates anti-magic with magic power instead of mana, but the effect is still the same. Ryu has considered anti-magic as a source for magic, just like mana, so anti-magic is not the opposite of magic, but rather the opposite of mana. It's a source, not the product. The magic we are talking about here is called Zen, and Zen was already associated with magic when Fumito said that only the most experienced magic user can perform this technique. He didn't even use the word ki. This is a matter of magic. Asta is literally learning magic like a baby step by step, something the Clover Kingdom failed to do as they don't understand the process behind it. And that's not all. It has been said that Zen got its name from its creator, who used the Nath Yojutsu or magic to split the sky with one attack. So here Zen is directly referred to as an attack magic. So with the Zen technique, Asta has officially created his first magic ever. If my conclusions are correct, then Asta is now officially a magic user. And with that, theoretically, depending on what is possible with anti-magic as a magic power, he can do anything a normal magic user could do, just as he already uses anti-magic to fly on his sword, comparable to how magic knights use mana to fly on their broomsticks. So that would have been a foreshadowing that we just didn't understand at the time. Most importantly, it means that he could either receive his own grimoire or a scroll from the Land of the Rising Sun, or learn to use spells from his anti-magic grimoire. Also, he should be able to use things like anti-magic zone, anti-magic skin, anti-magic runes, and so on and so forth. All things that are created by mana manipulation using ki, maybe even awakening his own magic. Maybe Asta has a magic ability he could never use because he had no mana, like a revolver without a bullet. But now that he has anti-magic and learns how to generate magic power, he might accidentally trigger his true magic. Maybe an anti-form. For example, if Asta has water magic, this would create anti-water magic. Very interesting idea. What do you guys think of this theory? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button. And if you want to see more Black Clover content, then subscribe to our channel with the notification bell activated. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.